is costing all borrowers in emerging markets and Africa about $15.6 billion in excess interest on loans each year, and even more in terms of lost opportunities.
On average, 17% of government revenue go to debt service in Africa, and up to 50% in some countries, compared to less than 5% in OECD countries and around 8% in Asia.
The amount of money that we're spending paying back or paying interest on our debt is excessive.
On average, African countries pay about 200 to 400 basis points more than comparable developing and emerging economies for the same amount of financing.
We are trapped in a system designed to keep us paying the highest price for capital.
Governments have to choose between serving their people and servicing their debt.
So the more that we pay on servicing that debt, the less we have to devote to other more productive parts of the economy.
All these lead to underinvestment, especially in health, education, and infrastructure, which are vital for Africa's transformation.
Africa is constantly told that its commodities are valuable because they empower others. But everything else, our services, our innovation, our youthness, even our future, is labeled as risky.
If we go through the global financial architecture reforms, the best that can come out of them is that we'll get 10% of the capital that we need.
We need a new credit rating framework, let's say, whereby we have different ways of assessing risk and then different ways of sensitizing the market and maybe using different instruments to give them that comfort in the short term to help reduce the cost.
Data is lacking, and we believe we've got the answer to create the right data to fit into the right profit models for the informal settlements.
What we need is not more compensation or charity. We need a regulatory shift that changes the very rules of the game. So African ambition is no longer penalized as risky, but recognized as a driver of global growth.
This is why UNDP's Africa Credit Ratings Initiative is helping African countries to better understand and also better navigate the credit ratings process.
If the historical data on equity returns of investments made by the IFC, by the African Development Bank, were available in a business-ready format, then investors could do their own analyses to understand what the risks and returns are.
We've established something called GEMS 3.0, an artificial intelligence platform which brings not only risk data from multilateral development banks, but also brings risk data and transparency from global institutional investors to be able to get real insights across emerging markets in Africa and, as a consequence, reduce the cost of capital.
UNCTAD has been working to identify important solutions in the multinational, South-South cooperative and national levels.
We need sound macroeconomic and financial policies to improve investor confidence and create fiscal space.
We need to stop trying to make investment developmental, and we need to make development investable.
African multilateral banks are going to be critical in the next phase in terms of debt management, in terms of reducing the cost of capital.
We are now available and ready, so it is now the time.
It matters a lot to help improve the life and livelihood of Africans across the continent.